So for those of you who are selling their business in the next 3 years or sooner, you know how much you're going to pay in taxes when you sell? No idea?
Do you know how it's calculated?
All right, it depends. Totally depends. And you get that answer a lot from people, but we're going to go into the why it depends. Capital gains tax. Your business, when you sell, if there are profits, if you've had it for more than a year, you're going to be looking at capital gains tax. If you own a stock and you've had it for more than a year and you have appreciation on it, you're going to pay capital gains tax. If you have some real estate that you've owned for more than a year and you have some appreciation, capital gains tax. And that's different than the income tax that you pay.
Yeah, up to this point, we talked with retirement plans about ordinary income tax. That's where they have the different brackets. Capital gains tax is a little bit more streamlined.
Here's the brackets for capital gains tax, and so what you're probably going to be, and I didn't see you raise your hand earlier on how much you're paying in taxes, but I'm guessing you're going to be making more than $500,000 when you sell. So write this down. Do you have something to write it down with? Put it in your notes in your phone. You're going to pay 20% in capital gains tax. Are you an S Corp or are you an LLC? You're an S Corp? How many employees do you have? 12? Okay. You're not going to pay this with the S Corp. That's one of the only advantages to making a lot of money and still having an S Corp, by the way. If you're making more than $380,000 a year, you really need to question why you have an S Corp. You need to look at some other structures because there's a lot more benefits for you.
But that last time is basically just an additional tax they're going to charge you on top of the 20%.
The other entities. Yep. There's a 3.8% tax. So now you're at 23.8%. What state do you live in? Do you live in Florida? Ohio? I don't know their tax, but they do have an income tax. And I hate Ohio State, by the way. Just kidding. I don't hate them. I've been a Michigan fan since I was this big, but I'm not one of those fans, man. When Ohio State plays in the national championship for the last decade before last year, I actually rooted for them. So I went to Western Michigan University. We'll just use California because I don't know Ohio's state income tax. So California, you're going to be like an additional 12 to 13%. On top of the 23.8. Yeah, have fun living there and selling a business.
State tax. Hold on, that's state tax. In addition to the 20%, in addition to the possible 3.8%. So what's that math in California? Do we pick on California?
It's like 37%, 37%.
So what he's saying is when you sell your business, the appreciation on that business or property or stocks is going to get taxed at, call it 35, 37, 38%.
Has anybody heard of the estate tax? It's okay. You have?
You're right here, yeah.
What's the estate tax? I'm putting you on the spot. I'm trying to make this interactive. Do you remember? It's when you die. Kind of, yeah. Along those lines, she said if you don't have a plan for your assets, the government's going to take some of your money. Well, that's partially true. If your estate is worth over $27 million, and I know that may limit the room, but I know that Claudia has sold several businesses that are much bigger than that. So maybe somebody in this room's feeling that. Every dollar over that 27 million number, it's going to be cut in half before your kids get it. It's the estate tax.
And this is what...
Hold on one second. Let me finish real quick. The rules that are in place right now, if they don't change, it's going to drop down to 14 million. 2026, right?
Yeah, 2026, it's going to basically get cut in half.
So you have the capital gains tax that even people who have businesses are not aware of, which is common, by the way. I'm not picking on you. It's very common. Then, if you pass away, soon after, you have the estate tax. I don't know what the estate tax is going to be 30 years from now, but based on how much debt this country has, I'm sure it's not going away. It's an easy target. Go ahead, Scott. Sorry.
But what I was mentioning earlier in the program, when we talked about Donald Trump, Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, blah, 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 what they're really trying to avoid is this estate tax. And if you grow your business, you grow your assets, and the government keeps doing what they're going to be probably doing, which is what?
Raising.
They're trying to get more tax money from you.
Yeah, spend money. That's right.
What that's going to mean, it's a bad combination for a storm where you're earning more money, which is awesome, but the government is going to be trying to take more of that money. And I don't say that flippantly. I say that because this country is in a lot of debt. How are they going to get their money back? How do you think is going to be the first thing? And it has nothing, it's not a political commentary because it really doesn't really matter that much whether it's a Democrat or Republican. We're in this spot as a country where they have to get some of those dollars back. Estate tax is a fantastic way because that is going to tax who? The
Rich people.
So the Donald Trumps of the world, Warren Buffett's of the world, are using tax strategies not only when they sell businesses and things of that nature, but it's when they pass away. One of the things we ask our clients is, how important is it to you to leave a generational wealth, to leave money behind to your kids or to a charity?
Yeah, raise your hand if you want to leave generational wealth. Now, raise your hand if you know anybody who's pretty wealthy that's passed money on to kids and they pissed it away. So some of these strategies, the one we're about to talk about, and the one that he's mentioning with Warren Buffett and some of these other famous people, it almost eliminates their ability to do that. They have to be stewards of your wealth. They're still going to get paid, but they have to be stewards of your wealth. And we kind of jumped ahead a little bit. I want to touch on this, especially for you. If you have Schedule D on your tax return, if you don't know it, you can send it to us or send it to your tax person, but your tax return has a Schedule D, a line 16, that can offset your capital gains. And what that means is if you've ever had any investments that didn't go very well and they were outside of an IRA, that's there. It's called carry forward losses that you get to use against your gains. So if you're selling your business for $10 million and you had maybe $1 million from some mistakes that happened earlier, you're only going to have a $9 million capital gain. So keep that in mind. Schedule D, line 16. Go ahead, Scott.
Only 9 million capital gain.
Yeah. Sorry about that. So do you still have a gain? Still depends. What you really need to do is have a team review your tax returns for the last 2 years, your personal, your business returns. Then this is going into what Scott was talking about. So Warren Buffett's $2.8 billion tax deduction came from a charitable remainder trust. Now people hear this word, charitable remainder trust, and so I don't want to leave my money to charity. Some people do. Charitable remainder trust, if you move part of your business, and you can't do it with an S corp, by the way, but you can restructure. If you move your business or even part of your business into a charitable remainder trust, say you're going to sell your business for $35 million. Maybe you want to put $8 million of your business into that charitable remainder trust. It's not going to pay capital gains tax. And you're going to get a massive tax deduction for several years into the future in most cases.
So say that again, it's not going to pay a capital gains tax. We just talked about paying 37%, 35% capital gains, right? This will wipe out that portion.
This is just how it looks like. I just explained this to you. This is your asset. It could be an appreciated stock. It could be appreciated real estate. In your case, it might be business. I don't know what you're selling it for, but if you put a couple $1 million into this trust and then you sell it inside the trust, that portion is not going to pay capital gains. And then also, while you're alive, you actually have to take an income stream from your charitable remainder trust. You hear the word remainder? The remainder is for after you and your spouse or your partner have passed away. While you're alive in a charitable trust, you actually take an income stream.